Welcome to the Deep Dive. You're tuning in because, well, like us, you're curious and want to get smarter about things, maybe a bit faster.
Exactly. And today, we've got quite a mix of ideas that came from the material you shared. Really fascinating stuff.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about career change, that big leap, and also personal insecurities, how they actually drive us.
And creativity.
Yeah.
Not just art, but as a real tool. Plus, the big one, AI. How it's changing things in marketing and, well, everywhere.
We've got personal stories, expert takes, quite the range.
For sure. So think of this as us pulling out the key bits for you, connecting those dots. We want you to have those aha moments without the textbook headache.
Right. So let's jump in. First up, this situation with Marty and his commute sounds like it's really got him thinking about changing careers.
Oh, yeah. That daily grind. It can do that. I bet a lot of you listening feel that sometimes. That is this it feeling.
Totally. And the biggest hurdle that comes up almost immediately, it's the money, isn't it?
Always. Yeah. That financial risk, the fear. It's a massive anchor. Holds so many people back.
But June had this really practical idea. He said, look for wasted time, find those little pockets.
Right. And restructure that time to actually work towards the change. It's like breaking inertia, he said.
Yeah, like getting unstuck in other areas too. It's about those small, consistent moves, not one giant, terrifying jump.
Makes so much sense. It reframes it, doesn't it? More manageable steps you can weave into your life right now, using the minutes you already have, just differently.
And we heard Marty mention past attempts, getting sidetracked by the pandemic.
Yeah, life happens, right? Curveballs.
Yeah.
Shows how important being adaptable really is now. It's almost like a required skill.
Definitely. And that was that great point about age. The fit presenter starting a new career at 49.
After someone else retired at that same age, yeah, that really flips the old script about career path.
It does. The world of work is just different. It's not those lifelong factory jobs anymore. Careers are more fluid.
Which is exciting, but also, yeah, a little scary sometimes. Requires a whole different mindset about your professional life.
And thinking about navigating change, dealing with the unknown. That often links back to how we see ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Our confidence or lack of it.
Exactly. Which brings us smoothly into this whole area of personal insecurities.
Right. It started kind of light women using AI for height checks on dating apps.
Yeah. Seems trivial, maybe. But it opened up this whole conversation.
About the deeper stuff, yeah. How insecurities fuel decisions, whether it's cosmetic surgery or, buying those height-enhancing shoes.
It's a window into those anxieties, isn't it? How we want to be seen, what we do to feel accepted.
But John's take was interesting. He called insecurities potential powerhouses.
Yeah, like fuel. Motivation to change things for the better.
Yeah.
Like getting you to the gym or pushing you to learn something new.
It's about flipping how you see them, harnessing that energy.
That reframing is powerful. Seeing vulnerability not just as weakness, but as a source of drive.
And I liked Keith's honesty, too. Just saying, hey, I have insecurities, and that's okay, accepting them.
Yeah, not pretending they don't exist, but learning to live with them, maybe even use them. That idea of insecurity as a human superpower, if you manage it mentally.
It's pretty profound when you think about it that way, that vulnerability can lead to strength.
And this connects to the idea that fixing the outside doesn't always fix the inside.
Oh, yeah, John's story about his client. Had the hernia surgery, still wasn't happy?
So telling, right? The root issue is internal, that feeling of dissatisfaction, just changing the surface. It often doesn't work long term.
So putting career change and insecurity together, it feels like the big insight is you need to do the internal work first.
Yeah, pretty much. Mindset is key before you tackle those big external shifts or challenges.
Okay, and that internal state, how we think, that's so tied to creativity, isn't it? Which is where we went next.
Absolutely. And we met Justin Ahrens, Chief Creative Officer. He really challenged my thinking on creativity. Well, he said it's not just decoration, not just making things look nice. It's fundamentally strategy.
Strategy, okay. I like that. And he uses it everywhere, right?
Totally. Building wells in Africa, advising huge Fortune 500 companies. It shows how broad creative problem solving can be.
That bike ride story was something else. Boston to Chicago.
Yeah. Raising awareness for water projects. But the coolest part, filtering water from like rivers and stuff along the way.
Right, and how that sparked conversations with people, unexpected connections.
Exactly. That visible act of tackling the challenge, it became this amazing communication tool, way more powerful than just talking about it.
And his own story was great, too. The teacher, Mr. Horley.
Oh, yeah. Encouraging him to draw a book report instead of writing it.
Amazing. And that basically set him on his path to design, Shows how much impact that kind of early encouragement can have.
And he reconnected with Mr. Horley years later. Just highlights the power of educators seeing that spark.
Justin also gave some quick, practical tips, like using Pinterest for inspiration. Didn't expect that one.
Me neither. And his morning routine reading philosophy, plus his dislike of visual vomit in design.
Huh, visual vomit. Gotta remember that. And he recommended a book.
The Way to Love by Anthony DeMello.
Yeah.
About unprogramming limiting beliefs. Sounds intense, but useful.
Definitely connects back to mindset and insecurities again.
For sure. And his idea of success, being present, caring, and importantly, bringing other people up with you.
That's a great definition. Much more about connection and impact than just climbing the ladder.
Yeah, it ties creativity to purpose, to making a positive difference.
Okay, so let's pivot now to AI. We heard from a Romina Maas, a marketing strategist.
Right, and her focus was really on using AI ethically, empathetically.
Yeah.
Which feels super important right now.
Yeah, it does. She has a background in writing, apparently even did horoscopes way back when.
Yeah, it gives her an interesting lens on all this AI-generated text we're seeing.
She also shared a pretty raw story about getting fired. Unclear expectations were the issue.
And her big takeaway was wanting more independence, wanting to work for herself. You can see how that might fuel her views.
Definitely. Especially her point that AI without emotional intelligence just speeds up mediocrity.
Right. It lacks that authentic human voice, that spark.
Yeah.
Just churns out generic stuff faster.
She felt strongly about that. And about being honest when you are using AI.
Oh, yeah. Profiting from it without telling anyone. She saw that as unethical.
Okay.
Transparency is key.
And she mentioned this shift, too, because AI is faster. People are starting to charge for outcomes, not just hours worked.
That's a huge shift in thinking about value.
Right.
If the tool makes you super efficient, the focus moves to the results you deliver.
Makes sense. We also talked about how by 2025, AI use will probably just be assumed.
Yeah, the debate won't be, is it AI anymore? It'll be, is it good? And is it being used responsibly?
That feels like a much better conversation to be having.
Totally. And Romina had this simple question for keeping storytelling authentic. Why am I sharing this story?
Such a good gut check. What's the intention? What's the value? Stops you from just adding to the noise.
Exactly. It's a great filter.
She was also really open about her autism diagnosis.
Yeah, and how positive the response was from her community.
Yeah.
It ties back again to that idea of embracing who you are authentically.
And how that vulnerability can actually be a strength, creating connection.
Absolutely. She said she had no regrets sharing it, which really reinforces that message. Authenticity can be freeing.
Which leads nicely into the community spotlight. Romina nominated Lillian Teeny.
Right, who helps people build authentic brands. See, that thread of authenticity just keeps popping up.
It really does. Highlighting people like Lillian feels important in this, often curated online world.
For sure.
Yeah.
And we also shouted out Seth Work.
Yeah, from the Social Media Escape Club on Substack. Love that name.
Me too. He's all about substance, community. Getting away from the chaos. Sounds like he has a really varied background too.
Yeah, Grammy bands, blogs, metal trivia. Eclectic.
And this whole spotlight idea, one creator nominating another, it's about paying it forward, building that community feel.
Definitely. So, wrapping up with Romina, she shared a few fun things. Her morning routine.
Chaotically structured, I kind of get that.
Me too! And her secret wish for that LinkedIn action figure trend to just go away.
Huh. I might need to lift that one up too.
And she admitted loving the buzzword snackable, even if it's overused.
Hey, sometimes they stick for a reason. Little details like that make these experts feel real,
Totally. And her reaction to an AI meme prompt was just, this is fine.
Which probably sums up how a lot of us feel about AI right now. That sort of bemused acceptance.
Yeah. And we also touched on the listener comments, how great that engagement is.
So valuable. It reminds us we're all figuring this stuff out together.
So as we wrap up, maybe take a moment, think about your own relationship with these things. With risk, with insecurity, with your own creativity, with technology.
Yeah, reflect a little.
And maybe ask yourself, what's one small thing, just one tiny step you could take today towards something more authentic, more fulfilling, whether it's career, personal life, how you are online?
That's a great thought to leave people with, that focus on small, actionable steps.
And speaking of steps and maybe centering yourself, our next deep dive, it's going to be all about breath work. Fascinating area.
Oh, interesting. Looking forward to that.
So keep an ear out for it. You can find all our deep dives wherever you get your audio. And honestly, thank you so much for spending your time and your curiosity with us.
Yeah, thanks everyone.